Welcome back, folks. This is lesson 28. And I thought this time what we'd do is a sort of a tree study. Nothing complicated with buildings and windows and things like that. Just a tree study, and a tree study in winter. So what I've done with this one is I've put your sketch at the beginning of the lesson, so you can sort of freeze the video and concentrate on your sketch. And then when you've done that, we'll start the painting. Right. The colours today are raw sienna or ochre, cobalt blue or any similar blue, burnt sienna or light red, and cobalt blue plus burnt sienna or light red mixed together. That'll give you like a grey colour. So once you've got those cracking, we'll get cracking. So what I've done first of all is masked out the two main trees here. These are the foreground trees. All these are spear carriers at the back. And this is a snow-covered scene, and I want to show you this, and we'll do it together. Okay. Right, first thing I'm going to do is I've got to do the sky and keep off the bottom here because there's snow in it. Let's start that for a start. This is a touch of clean water on here. And it's a winter sky, and I've used cobalt blue because it's cooler than the ultramarine. Let's see how we go with that. Just gently pop that in there, let some sunshine in there. The sun today, by the way, is coming from the back left. So over there, it's coming this way at an angle. It'll become more evident as we put the shadows in. Right, let's pop some. So there's this cobalt blue. It's a lovely blue. This it is. It's a real treat. And just because I don't want it to be too nice a day, because there's some snow up there and there's some more coming. So let's just make sure we get the act together and get it right, shall we? So this is down to the horizon there where the snow is. I've protected the trees so I don't have to worry about them. The background ones I can pop in afterwards. With the raw sienna, it's created a well in some of these years where I've masked it out, so I've got to be careful with that as well. Got to get rid of that. One or two things to think about, isn't there? But you can do it. I have full confidence in you. Right, and we'll put that sort of a snow-filled cloud in now. In other words, there's more on its way. One of those days. Right, away we go. This is a little bit of cloud cover. Oh, dear me, there's some snow on that one. Make it an interesting sky, shall we? I'll leave a bit of blue up that left-hand corner there. That's where the sun's coming from. So there we go. Now I've got to be careful because I'm creating some wells in this where the masking fluid is on. See, I've got to be careful there, or I'll finish it with a weird looking sky. Make sure you take them wells out. Don't let it fill in there. It's got no choice because I'm working at 15 degrees, which is the ideal angle for the watercolours. But I want it to sort of, and it runs towards you, so therefore it's going to run to those V's where the trunks and the branches are, like that. Look there. Let's get rid of that. Just keep his eye on it. I don't want your neighbours to say, look, you're a dodgy sky there. I want to say, wow, that's wonderful. Right, I think we're okay now. I think it's stopped running a bit. I'll keep my eye on it anyway, see how we go. Now then, the next thing to do is, this is still wet down here, but what I will try to put in some distant landscape, if you like. Oh, it could be some bushes or whatever. Let's have a look. Let's put some. I thought I'd put a touch of blue or something. How's that? It's still too wet, I think. Yeah, it is. See how we go. Try a touch more. I think it might be soaking in too much, but we'll see how we go. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to dry it a little bit to give it a chance, or are we going to be here all day? Take that thing out off the snow. Still using this big brush. See if we can put some in. Back of there. This is a backdrop, if you like. It's not important, but it's just making the viewer think, oh, there's something in the distance. I wonder what it is. But let them keep wondering. That's important. You're in charge. Touch up here like this. She's dried up slightly there, so it's showing some edge on it, which is fine. It's depth, but undefined depth, which is just what you need. You don't want robins or anything like that in it. There, let's have a look at that. Right, that's nice for a start. Now, let's build on that with a touch of we can get, you know, that burnt sienna I talked about, and some that, just to show some of the bushes are still like the copper beech and that, they're still giving this effect, aren't they? Of course, that immediately the colour takes that in front of that one. So these bushes here are a bit closer. Vary it a bit, you know, the size of them and stuff like that. I'll finish this bit up here. Take that down to the base there. Now, what I can also do there is try and put a bit of dark into there as well. Where it's below, so it's into here. That'll stand out better against the snow, won't it? The light's coming from the left, don't forget. This is that the colours I tell you about, the cobalt blue and the sienna mixed together, will give you this kind of a colour, which will darken the undergrowth. I purposely mixed a bit too much because I knew I wanted to do this. That blue one takes you further back, see, than this one. Now you got to be careful here because you want to stop fiddling, and I don't want you to fiddle. That's the last thing I want you to do. We don't do fiddle, do we? Right, what I want to try now, it might be too wet, but we'll try it. See, I want to introduce one or two distant trees, which are sort of nearly blending with the background. Let's see what we've got. So that colour we got in the sky, this heavy colour here, use some of that with the sienna mixed to it, or the light red, whichever one you prefer. And let's see what we can pop in there. Just do a test, see if we've got the right colour. Similar. And let's pop in something like this. So we haven't drawn this or anything. We're just building up sort of a distant view of a landscape. That's in mist, if you like. So that'll be quite nice for that, won't it? Perhaps one about here at the background here. All spear carriers, these, not important, but they're creating your woodland behind it, which is nice. It gives you viewers more interest when they're looking at your painting. So we've got three distant ones here, perhaps another one to this side here. Let's just build it up a little bit. One just here, and I'm starting on top of that foreground bush there because it's behind it. All right. And it's nice if you do a thick one like that. It could be, the old oak tree, that sort of thing. That'd look nice, wouldn't it? An oak tree down there, shall we? With the twiddly gnarled bark and stuff like that. And then it gets ivy around it, doesn't it? Which is quite nice. I like that. Ivy around that one. It's lovely to make it up as you go along, this is half the fun. I'll put another branch up there because it's going a bit weird. Get another one up there, at the top there. That'll stop fiddling. So that's backdrop. All is backdrop. We haven't started on the picture yet, but that's get us going a bit. Let's see where we go from here. Right, we're ready to go again. I'm still leaving those masts, those two front trees. They're going to be done after we've done the other background trees. There's trees there which we've drawn, which we need to sort of paint in. That's that one there, and there's one just here. I think it's just two. Well, look at it. All right, let's do two then. So let's mix the colour here. There's going to be warmer than that, and just cooler than well, same value as that. Let's see what we've got. So I'm using some of that burnt sienna. Now I'm going to mix with it some of that cobalt blue. We should get sort of a colour there that should be quite nice for a tree or something. Let's just test it. Don't forget to test it. Make sure it's right for what you want. Right, we'll see how we go with that. So we'll do this one. Actually, I'm right-handed, so I'm working from the left to right, so I don't smudge it afterwards. I'm in my shed or my studio, which is, and it's a beautiful day. It's absolutely stunning out there. And in fact, what I've done, I'm painting this in the morning before it gets too hot. But I've got the door open, and every fly and buzz and bee and everything is interested. They must be artists or something. They're taking the trouble to come in and have a look, see what we're doing. I can't much about that sound, folks. It's the sound of summer, isn't it? Don't knock it. Just enjoy it while you're in lockdown. I tell you what, this painting, doing these YouTube channels now, it saved me from going crackers. It's given me something to do and something I enjoy, which is lovely. And I hope you're enjoying it. That's what it's all about, isn't it? Having a bit of fun, the best way we can. They're talking about lifting the restrictions just now, but I'm in what they might call it is a protected group, or whatever they call them, vulnerable. So I'm a bit doubtful about going out yet. Give me more time to paint, won't it? Once they decide it's alright, I'll go out then. Carol's going crackers as well. Thank goodness she's a gardener. So that's a background tree there. It's just doing its stuff. We'll put one in here as well, which is the same picture plane, so it'll be a similar colour. Let's pop this one in. Put a bit more warmth in this one, just a touch. Up it goes. And always paint your trees upwards, because you have a tendency to lift the brush off as you go to the end of the stroke. Now, if you're painting down like that, it gets thinner at the bottom than the top, which is not right. Of course, the trees are always thicker at the bottom than the top, aren't they? So you have a tendency to lift off, and it automatically narrows the branches for you like that. See, makes them more delicate. I'm giving you all my tips here. I don't know it. Branch on that one just there, around that corner. Flick it there, flick it there. I might flick it a bit behind there as well. So it's growing behind that one. So we know that because it's behind that tree. Let's flick this one in. And of course it's nice because that tree now we painted earlier has gone in the background, and it's gone behind it. So we've got a flat piece of paper, and we're giving it a three-dimensional look. Your neighbours will be so impressed with this one, I'll tell you. The way you've spaced it out and covered the other trees behind it. In fact, the light's coming from the left, and this is a bit more in the foreground. So I might put a bit of dark on that. Let's Put a bit of dark, like a shadow side. Darken it down on this side here. While it's still wet, it'll soak into it. Just a gentle touch. Right, that's enough for that. Right, now we've got the. I better dry those, and then we can start on our trees. I'm going to do that one first, because these two trees, if you do them both the same, they compete for your eye. So this one has got to be less important than this one. This is our opera singer, the big fat lady with the horns on her head. This one, she's going to do all the blessing out, and this one is a supporting act. This one here, and then some distant trees here, and then an old oak tree just here, and then closer to us, in front of these bushes here, is these darker trees here, which is closer to us. Right, now then, I say we're doing this one first and then that one. So I'm going to take out the masking fluid off this. Okay. Hopefully. Use your finger. See how good it is? It protects what's underneath, doesn't it? Just what I wanted it to do. Oh, it's glue, so it takes some getting off as well, folks. So don't make your finger sore. Keep changing fingers. Another one here. A bit down here. Right, I think that's all clear of that. Now we can paint it. It's as simple as that. Right, so this one I'm going to paint raw sienna, that ochre colour, that colour. Paint a coat of that on it first. This is like an undercoat on this. Let's see where we go. When I'm doing these lessons, it's a bit difficult to decide what to do, because not knowing what people want. I mean, some people will say, "Well, that's I don't like doing buildings, or I don't like doing trees, or I don't like doing water." So it's a bit difficult for me to do any decision making. So perhaps somebody will tell me what they like, and then the more likes I get. When you on the sort of YouTube, if you tick a like, the more likes it fetches, is the more I'll paint that type of subject, because it's got more likes. Simple as that. It's not brain surgery. That's my only indication of what to paint. I'm going a bit darker now. I'm going to darken this eventually. Keep it going. Right, while it's still wet, this, I'm going to sort of introduce some darker colours on the right hand side. But I'm just finishing off these little twiggy bits first, so I don't miss them. You see how thin you can go to the top there by just lifting the brush off. There's one up here. Right, I'm going to put some darker stuff on this. This is light red and cobalt blue. A bit more light red this time to make it a bit more browny. Let's see where we go. Right, that's this one here. Still wet, you see, so it's what it's doing. It's got using a capillary action and creeping around the tree, because the light's from the left, isn't it? So let's just paint this right hand side, and the capillary action of the paint being on the wet tree will take it around the tree as well, which is quite nice. Well, that's what we're trying to get anyway. Okay. Let's just do a bit darker on this side here. You might see him fiddling in all these little branches, but it makes your picture look better. Looks like you know what you're doing, which is always useful. So we're doing some darks on this, because I'm doing it darker because, as I said, I don't want this to be the most important tree. Our most important one is the bigger one to the left of this. Right, this one here. Dark on this bottom here. Let's get a bit more dark on these. There's some down the bottom of a tree. You always find that there's some trees trying to grow. It wants its own, not like these at the bottom here. So we've got to put some of these in just doing their own thing. It's a bit wet, that, so I can't put them in, but because that's overlapping the tree. We'll see how we go with the other stuff. Right, this room. You see, I can now introduce some twigs onto this that are in front of the tree, which is what I wanted, like that. They're growing out of the base, aren't they? it anchors it down here like this. Anchors the tree down, which is lovely. Some nice dark down here. I think these branches at the top, they're a bit thin, so I'm going to broaden it a bit like that, see. That's better. Don't look so spindly now. A bit more on this one here. Make it a bit more manly if you like. Put a bit of dark on this. It's too pristine. But I don't want to have too much detail on this because the detail is reserved for the opera thing on the far side. But there's some gnarled bits and stuff like that on the trees. I'm drying that because I'm right-handed. I don't want to sort of put my arm on it and smudge it all. I'll waste my time. Right, I'll take the masking fluid off this. I say for a couple of quid, it's well worth having a little bottle of this. It saves you a lot of time, and it makes it easier to paint round things. Well, you don't have to paint round it, you just paint it as normal, and then the masking tape, masking fluid will take care of it for you. Oh, it's quite sticky, this stuff. Must be getting old. Oh, me and the sticky stuff and the fluid. Oh, right, look at it. I might have to invest in a new bottle. It's hard for me to say that as a Yorkshireman. Dear me. A branch here missed. Right, that's our major tree. Okay. Right, so the light's from the top left, or back left if you like, coming this way, so it's going to make it lovely and light on that the main branch. Let's have a touch of this is that ochre or the raw sienna, whichever you're using. I prefer raw sienna because it's transparent, but whatever you've got, you know. So let's just give this an undercoat. A nice bright colour, sunny colour, because this is our main tree. This has got to be saying, here I am, I'm important, I'm the main tree. Never mind this one. That's lovely. Right. I'm using a big brush. I have to go into a small one now because the branches are thinner. Or I'll smudge it all over the place. It's as far as I can go with that, I think. Right. let's get a smaller brush. The rigger comes important here, doesn't it? Because it gets to small places. Oops. So because this is a tree study, I'm not bringing any people into this one because I don't want it to dilute the importance of the tree. This is going to be purely winter trees in all their glory. Keeping that light theme going. Right, that's got most of it done. Right, and just the light is from the left, so this is going to be sort of introducing dark to the right hand side, where it would make it go round, if you like. As I said, this is the right hand side is where the darks are. Take a bit off I smudged it a bit there, folks. That was everybody's. Right, now let's get a brush and put on some darks on this side here. And that dark is going to be sort of the colour we got in the sky, which is the cobalt blue and the light red, or burnt sienna, whichever one you're using. It's got to be a sort of a darkish colour. Let's see how we go. And by touching it on this, it's wet and it's creeping around the tree, isn't it? It's doing what I want it to do. Anchor it to the floor down there. Let's get some darks on this. On these branches now. It's not a quick job as you think it is. It all requires your important attention if it's going to look right. Let's see if I can get some of these top ones done. This one up here. That's going off the picture. Doesn't matter though, does it? Yes, they're important, these darks, because it gives it a three-dimensional look, which is what we're striving for all the time from a two-dimensional piece of paper. And it also, as I said, this is more important than that, and you can see it's stronger in value already, isn't it? I love painting trees, especially winter. I love painting winter scenes. They're lovely, they are. Because you know, I mean, people say, oh, we can't paint we're in winter time. We can't paint because it's winter. I mean, I spend so much time going out driving around, and I see some fabulous trees. You know, the structure of them is wonderful. I mean, take your camera with you or your phone, and just stop and take a picture and put it on your computer if you've got a computer, or just keep it on your phone, or just something to use later. You can introduce it the tree that you like when you like, because you're in charge. Keep it going. Put more water into there. It's a bit dry. And don't be frightened to extend these branches to whatever you feel like. As I said, this is our main tree, so we've got to treat this one with respect. Get some dark on the bottom side of that this time. So it's not flat. I've pulled this branch over to come out of the front of the branch, front of the tree. Here again, trying to create a three-dimensional look. Get another one up here, overlapping that oak tree. Get some of these branches down here. But there's one that I haven't rubbed out, look. Silly man. I nearly forgot that. Another one coming out the front as well. And these little twiggy things there, they're going to grow out, aren't they? Better put some of them in. Out of the bottom of the tree. As I can't do the front of the tree because it's still wet, but I can put some of these background ones in. one at the back here. I'm going to leave some white on that, though there might have some snow on it. I'm going to dry that bit now so I can put a bit more twig around the front. I want a bit more dark down this, to anchor this tree a bit, just a little bit more dark. Around here. Quite dark, this area. It's doing two things. It's darkening it, and it's also making it more important than the other one. I think that branch a bit there.
Hello, Wendy. This is the lady of the house. I put the phone in the pocket because to make you laugh, the minute I get down to the bottom of the garden, somebody in.
And the reason I'm thinking this because it looked a bit thicker at the top, and I don't like that. So we've got to correct that, haven't we? While we still can. That's better. Looks better that. But you can see that the value of these colours here is much greater than those there. That's just what I want. Let's anchor it down here. Right, I'm going to stop messing about with that tree now, and let's have a look at the foreground. I'll tell you what I might do before we finish on this background. I might put a bit of twiggy stuff in here like this now. Just to take that deadness off it. In fact, there's a branch there I've missed. I better put that devil in. Or there'll be trouble. Just there. Crikey, no, you missed that, folks. Shows you how easy it is, doesn't it? A little bit this side here. Because the beech trees, they seem to keep the leaves on all winter, don't they? Some of them, anyway. We've got a beech tree in our front garden. It's a weeping beech, it is, which is beautiful, and it doesn't shed its leaves till the last possible minute. It's nice. Anyway, I think that'll do. We don't want to go over the top. Twiddling. Right, now then the foreground. First thing to do is get a clean brush. Or clean the brush, whatever you're going to do, clean it and make sure it's clean. because you're working on your snow now, aren't you? Right, as I said, the sunshine in the sky is important. So you're going to get what's in the sky there. You're going to get reflections actually onto the snow itself. So I'm going to start with doing the sunshine reflection. Let's see what we've got. Not too strong. It's a reflection of sunshine. The light's coming from back left there, so it's catching that tree there, but it's also going to catch some indentations or areas of the snow where it's exposed to the sun. As it tumbles down there, see, it'll be snowy and sunny. So look where that's coming from. A bit of sunshine down here, lovely. And it's also where there's some troughs and things down here. It'll come down here as well. And along this bottom part here, it's going to catch some snow up there. So really, snow, you might think it's white, but it's not really, because it's picking up the colours what's in the sky. Now then, we've got this delicate blue. This lovely delicate blue. That's the cobalt blue, because that's in the sky, isn't it? So where there's an indentation, we're going to get sort of a shadow. So there's a sort of trough there. So that might be in shade there, look. And so this side of there's a trough there, so we'll put some down there as well. This is just a touch of what I've got, this blue sky here, and that's what I'm using down here. Put some down the back of that side there, that trough. There. Right, what I want to do now is just I want to put a nice shadow in from them trees there that's in front of us, the big trees, the good ones. Let's see if I can put a nice shadow, a distinct shadow, down the bank. See what we've got. See, and the colours I use for these shadows, as I say, I like shadows that expose what's underneath it. So this one, the sun's coming top left, back left, I should say. So you're going to get some shadow down this thing here, and it's going to tumble down this bank here. And of course it follows the contours of the bank, doesn't it? So just put that shadow, which will be a hard shadow, and then it'll level out on the bottom here where it levels up at the bottom. A bit broader than that. And there's a similar treatment to your other tree, because that's got a nice shadow as well. It's in the foreground. And this here follows the contours. It'll be shadowy down here like this, look, and it'll tumble down here like this, look. There's a lump there, so it'll follow that lump. And it comes down here, then levels out, it comes on this flat bit here. I mean, what you can do, I suppose, if you wanted to, is you can put some indications of branches in. You can do if you like, if it makes you feel better. Like this sort of thing, there's a branch there, so you might just twiddle a bit of branch in there like that. Or some of these things here, these things will create a bit of shadow down there like that, as it tumbles down there. And it just depends where you want to stop, you know. What I will do though, because which is important, and you do get them, is I want to put some dead grasses or grasses in this foreground. You know, these banks, it's not a lawn, and stuff grows out of it, doesn't it? Like this, look. You can get this sort of thing growing out of the snow, which is nice. It sort of enhances your picture, which is good. So let's do one or two bits and pieces like this, and some of this bank here like this. It indicates it's a bank coming down, doesn't it? It comes down the bank. Put some darks by it. Because that dark will bring it towards you as well. It'll bring it to the front of the picture, which is nice. And if you like, what you can do, I'm fiddling here, I'll be careful of fiddling, just to sort of give you a, I'll put one just here, across that, where, just here, I'll do it with this one. This is like a little twig which is surviving in front of the others. And the reason I'm putting this in, I'll show you in a minute, is because it's got some branches up here and dark bits, and what I want to do, I'll show you. Many years ago, an old artist tutor that I was working with, he always used to say, on all your pictures, put a touch of red into it. And so the only way I can do it on this is put a few berries on this here, like a little shrub here, like this, look. I'm not sure what kind of shrub it is, but he's got a touch of red on it, and it sort of lifts the picture. That was his theory, and I find out it works as well. But of course, you put these grasses in, but what you've got to do as well is remember at the same time, these grasses are going to cast a shadow, aren't they? So don't forget the shadows from these grasses as well. And this one here. And this one here, it tumbles down the bank. And then take the brush off me, because I'm fiddling. I don't like to fiddle, as you know. So that's our tree study, winter tree study, folks. I hope you've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed painting it. And until next time, it's goodbye. Goodbye, folks.